So we're recording. I just loaded one of the ones last week. I'm going to load everything so that you'll have it. You'll have last week's and this week's and all the other things, workouts, so that you can pull something up whenever I can't be there, you know. That's my goal. I'm going to turn this up. Okie dokie. So we are going to get warmed up a little differently today. If you're doing this in a bedroom, good for you. You can do every single thing that I'm going to do right now to warm us up. I'm not kidding you. In the bed. If you don't want to do it in the bed, you simply sit on a chair and you do all the things that we're going to do this away, or you do everything we're going to do this away. See that? Or this away. So when I say this away, that means really that away. Okay, here we go. We're going to warm up. And we're going to warm up with our back in mind, okay? Some of you have delicate backs. I know that. And little moves through the hip or the sciatic or the back, you're so afraid might send you over the edge. And it might. But here's the message. Doesn't matter. You need to keep moving. So if I'm going to keep moving, I'm going to get warmed up with my back in mind. I'm going to start with some very simple things on the ground. And if I were you and I had this set up and I had my bed there, then I would just go and lay down on the bed and do all this stuff from the bed. Okay? So here we go. Here's the chair. I'm going to come right down and let myself down into the chair. See what I did just now? I have my pad right here because that will soften the impact on my hands if you have delicate hands. Now, don't get comfortable, okay? Watch this. I'm going to put my elbow here, my elbow here. So this is one really good for you, Kay. Okay? So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to bring my knees back. See how I'm coming off of there a little bit? Okay? Now I'm going to drop my shoulders and I'm going to push my elbows into this pad. Or I'm going to push it into my pillow. And then look what I'm going to do. I'm going to rotate my hips forward. Now, if I didn't want to get down there and be on my knees right now, I would simply be, stay down there. I would simply be doing this. See, I would be pushing my hips forward like that. I might have a wall here. This might be my bed. It might be a counter. And I would just simply be doing this. Those of you who have gotten into the floor and from your chair and you put your elbows down and you backed your knees off, notice I backed my knees off, not my shoulders, okay? Drop your shoulders and really drop your hips so you're kind of hanging. See, I'm just hanging from my shoulder. My elbows are on the chair. It would be very difficult to do this with your elbows if you didn't have your pillow or your pad on the chair. That said, if my elbows are on my pad, I have to constantly keep pushing my shoulders down. Okay, and I'm just hanging out here. Push your shoulders down. Make sure your elbows are comfortable. Keep pushing your shoulders down, and you're dropping your hip bones, the front hip bones, toward the chair. Okay, now I'm going to rotate, push my butt back. I'm going to put my hands back on the chair, and I'm going to bring my chest down. Okay, I'm just going to bring my forehead to the edge of the chair, and I'm going to hang out here for just a second. Take a big deep breath. Exhale, inhale. Okay, now rotate forward again. Rotate forward. Now remember, I'm going to post this, and I'm going to say, when you're down in your back and you're afraid to move, Okay, number one, hopefully you've talked to a doctor, and if they've cleared you to move, then you can move safely and carefully. Okay, see how I'm rotating back again? My hands are on the back of the chair. I'm pushing my hips back. And I have a very tight knee on my left side. So I'm using this to help get a little range going. And I'm not overdoing pressure on my shoulder. Now, one last time, my elbows are down, my shoulders are down. I'm going to push my hips toward the chair, but don't tighten your butt. Not on this one. Drop your shoulders. Let your hips go toward the front of the chair. Drop your shoulders. Take a breath. Okay, now rotate and come back. Okay. Now I go to the floor. Okay. And I turn and I just drop my hip down right there. See that? So I'm on one side. You get to pick it. You can do this very thing from a couch, from a bed. If you're in the chair, all you're going to do is turn your knees to the side. And you're going to bring your hands around to the other side. I'm in a very big transverse position with my back in this position. I'll turn so you can see what I'm doing. So when I come into this position, I'm going to do it very carefully. See that? Then I'm going to come up as if I were going to stand up, but I'm not. Okay? So now I'm just going to bring those knees up because I've got to go to the other side, correct? Yeah. So we're doing all this very slowly, and we're going through movements that are waking up and working on those delicate back structures. So here I am on the other side, see, as if I just came down here to get in the floor. Then I just turn. My knees are in a set position. Then I'm going to turn and I'm going to put my elbows down. And at this point, I drop my shoulders. And I do this move super, super slowly. So now I'm in a very extreme transverse or turned position with my upper body. And I'm feeling big time stretches in my lower back, okay? Very safe, but very gentle that we move that way, all right? So here I am, just like this, hanging out here, just letting my body kind of meld into that floor. Keep your shoulders down, okay? Now I'm going to come right back here, see? So now this is just like a normal position that when you're getting down or getting up, you kind of go to it, right? Okay? So here's the deal. I'm going to take one leg and let it just kind of go out to the side, okay? Now, when you're in this position, you have two choices. You either open back a little more or you're going to round your back. See, I'm trying to avoid rounding my back. I want one leg to drop out here to the side. So I'm going to open back because the second choice is unacceptable. What is it? To round your back. So I can open back and then drop one leg out to the side. All right. Let me clue you. Some of you have back issues, but when you do this move, if you get tightness around your hip joint, it's going to get your attention right now. Okay? See, I'm just letting it hang out there for a few seconds. Then I come up. Okay? Remember the two choices? Whenever that you drop your leg out to the side, if you don't open back, you're going to round your back. And I'm trying to avoid that right now. Okay, so here I am. This is my hip replace side. So I'm just going to gently let it go out as far as it wants to go. Okay? it is not going to feel the same as an intact hip, or it's not going to feel the same, a replaced hip, as a hip that's been replaced versus one that's intact and is starting to get kind of little arthritises in it and a little tendonitis, little this, little that, because that hip is going to feel tight. Okay, this one doesn't feel tight at all. See, but I'm opened back. I'm just letting it hang out there for a little bit. Okay, then I bring it back. Okay, take a big deep breath. Now I'm going to roll to the side again. Remember, we were there before. I'm going to roll right down onto the floor. Now, here's the thing. Many of you avoid floor lying. Okay, you say laying or lying? Floor laying, because you have a forward head syndrome. And when you lay down, your head tilts back because you can't get it down, right? So use a pillow if you need to. We'll work on that as it comes up. But use a pillow under your head if you need to, because this is a very important move right now. Okay? So I'm going right on down. See how I've tucked myself under like this? See that? Okay. Now I'm going to roll to the back. Bring my knees up. And I'm going to bring my knees in. So I'm doing the very opposite move of what I did with the hyperextension. Remember? We did that. Okay. Take a big breath. Bring those knees in, just like that. Roll to the side, one leg at a time if you want to. Open your hand out so that you feel a huge stretch right here. Right here, right here, right here. Okay? Now bring one leg up, then bring the other leg up. You're right in here. Pull those knees in. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. Bring those knees in. Now, take a breath and just lift your head and act like you're going to touch your nose to your knees. Of course, you're not going to, but you're going to act like you are. And then you release and you come down. One leg on the other side, then one leg. Take this hand and go way out so you get that big stretch in the pectorals. Big breath, big stretch. Okay, just hang out there for a second. Take a big breath again. Try to use diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, now I'm going to bring my knee up. And you can stay down there as long as you want to. It's okay. Okay. And then come right back to center. Put your hands under your legs. And here we go. Drop your shoulders. Pull the nose to the knees, just like that. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. Come back down, come back down. Big deep breath. Now put my hands straight up. And I'm in a dead bug position. You've seen this all summer, right? Dead bugs. Well, when you're in this position, what I want you to do is lift your hands up, and then I want you to press your shoulder blades down, squeeze them in. So when you're in this dead bug position, you lift up, take a big breath. Now you pull your shoulder blades down into the ground like you're squeezing them. Yeah. Drop your shoulders as you're doing this, as you're pulling those shoulder blades in. We're going to do it 2 more times. Okay, point, flex with our feet. Point, flex. I should be able to feel a little S curve right under your back. Okay, your tummy is tight, but I don't want you to ground your nice neutral S curve into the ground. I want you to control this with your tummy. Does that make sense? Yeah, so we go up with our shoulders, then we go down and we pull those shoulder blades in. Point, flex. Make sure I have a little tiny space right here at the small of my back. My tummy is a little bit tight. Take a big deep breath. the shoulders, pull them back in. Up with the shoulders, pull them back in. I'm doing a point flex, point flex, point flex. Okay? Now, before I come up from this position, I'm going to pull those knees in. Okay, now, here's the deal. When you pull your knees in, some of you are pulling them in and your feet are together, but you let your legs go out to the side. So what I would rather you do is if you need to widen up to pull those in, okay, just keep it in a straight line. So pull in, take a breath, point flex, take a breath. Now you're going to take one leg and you're going to reach it out and you're going to squeeze it tight right here and you're going to tighten your tummy and you're going to take that heel down, breath, the heel down, breath. So this is the strength work with a direct pulling into and stabilization using our transverse, because we're breathing. Anytime you breathe deep with your diaphragm, you're pulling in your transverse muscles, but the rectus abdominis, all this is really holding stability as we're working this. Take a breath, hold that knee in, take a breath, soften up the knee if you need to. That was fine if you soften up the knee. Soften up the knee, tap, breath, soften up the knee, tap, breath, hang with me, drop your shoulders, 3 more, we got it, 2 more, 1 more, and bring it in. That should have got your attention with your quad, your stomach, your back, everything that you're holding yourself in there. So now we're going to hold that leg in. See, the knee is coming up here to the shoulder. See that? Take a big breath. When you're inhaling, exhaling, make sure your diaphragm is coming up, pushing in. And here we go. We're going to straighten the other leg out there. Remember, if you need to modify, all in the world that you have to do is bend your knee. Okay? If you go straight on out and you lengthen your lever, well, yeah, that's going to be much harder. So if you need to modify, and many people that have delicate backs because their cores need to keep getting stronger, make sure your knee is bent just a little bit. See, I went ahead and bent my knee so that you can see it's perfectly fine. But if you can straighten it, that's good too. Take a breath, okay? Stabilize your spine. So that means pull your belly button in. Yes, take a breath. So you're exhaling when it goes down, inhaling, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, breath. Yeah, control it with your belly button, keeping it tight. Just 3 more. Stay with me. Here we go. 1 more. Breath, and bring it in. Yay. Okay, kind of bring those legs up, but here's the deal. We're now working into our strength work. Before we were doing range of motion to get warmed up. If I straighten my legs here and it makes me pull away from my body here, that's not what I want to do right now, okay? Because I'm trying really hard to help you address the hamstring issue as it goes into the back and you're tight in your hamstrings. So keep your knees over your belly button chest area. Then just work on straightening one leg at a time. Just one leg at a time. You do not have to, if you can't do this, as far as straightening your legs over the belly button, then don't do it, okay? Don't try to open here and go and say, see, no, I don't want to do that. So bend in, start to go up one at a time. It's going to be an extreme amount of stretching. We're not holding a stretch right now. We're just doing some mobility as it relates to doing our strength work, okay? Take a big breath Take a big breath. Take a big breath. Hang out there. Hang out there. And you just go to the point of stretching. And if that's here, if you can only come up this much, then come up this much. But here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to go open and then straighten. See, I want you to straighten from this position, okay? See how the knees are over my belly button area? Yeah, and then you pull those toes down, okay? Now you bring the feet down, go to the side, and go to the side. Okay, so this is called the wave. Sometimes when you get up and you're feeling so stiff, this is a great one to start with. You can just lay down on your bed, or if you can get into the floor and do some of those other things, and then just do this one. If you forget everything else, just do this one. And do it a lot. I'm saying, upwards around 3 sets of 10. But here's the deal. Don't do them fast. That's number one. Number two, when you're doing this kind of a rotation, you have a tendency to want to bring your shoulders off the ground. I don't want you to do that. I want you to keep those shoulders down because I'm trying to help you move better, okay? And you're all tightened down. So if you drop your knees to the side and you lift your shoulder, that's not going to help you any. Okie dokie. Take a big breath. Okay, just 2 more. And again, remember, if you can get down on the floor and do this about 30 times or 3 sets of 10, you stack your ankles and you just drop into a wave pattern. Keep your shoulders on the ground. You know what? You're going to feel so much better through your day if you don't have time to do anything else but what we've just done, and then to the wave, to this one right here, okay? Then do it. Okay, now we're going to roll over. This is when in class, whenever that we were working in person, I would tell my class members to roll over and bark. It's just a joke. Okay, so I think you can see me. So I just rolled over. And this is the position that if I had a magic wand that was going to make everybody out there that's doing this workout with me to do a move, it would be this move, okay? And it should be done before you get out of bed in the morning. Just roll over and put your pillows. Just grab your pillows. See, here's a pillow. I put it right underneath my belly button. See that? I can put my elbows I could put pillows all here and just lay in that position for a bit, okay? So see what I'm doing is pressing myself up gently, settling my hips down, giving my back a chance to be opening up. This is the move that doctor in physical therapy at that seminar I went to was talking about. That this is so good for your back to do this. Now, when you're in this position, you're breathing, okay? Don't hold your breath, number one. Do not tighten your gluteals. Not right now. Not right now. You're trying to let it go, trying to open up those pathways through your back, okay? And when I say pathways, I don't mean anything woo-woo-ish, okay? This is plain old physiology, y'all. It's just all this kind of terminology gets tied into how your body works, okay? We're just trying to open up the closed down veins, arteries. We're trying to get good oxygen flowing into those areas. You've been sleeping all night. Some of you sleep in one position and then you get up And you wonder why you're stiff. Well, you sat in what you laid in one position for like hours. Okay. I know some of you are out there going, no, I move all night. I'm up and down. I don't even sleep. Well, that's a whole nother issue. Okay, see what I'm doing? See what I'm doing? I hope you've calmed down. You put your elbows down, you dropped your shoulders, and you're pulling back. See how I'm pulling back? And let's pretend I have pillows under me. Let's say I needed to modify, okay? Then put pillows under you. That's how you do that. And you just hang out here for a bit. So once you've done that now, just push into the elbows. Go ahead and lift your hips. Gently, gently, gently. Now you're on your hands and knees, right? Big deep breath. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And I'm going to put my toes into the ground. And I'm going to stand up. Now, if that is not something that you can do, then you just crawl your little self over to a chair, okay? And you get up with the help of the chair. Take a big breath. Your shoulders are down. My feet are wide. That's the first thing. Then my toes are underneath me, curled under, and I'm going to push into my toes and then stay wide. Then I'm going to equalize right here. So when you get in this position after you've been down there for a bit, you know, you might be a little dizzy. So don't come up so quick. Okay? Then your hands go here. You're equalizing, equalizing, equalizing. So now you're coming up so that you can kind of look around, right? And you can look outside, maybe. And you can say, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I didn't have to get out in the rain to go to this class today. See how that works? Yeah. So here we go. I'm going to put on my little weight training gloves. And I could have had these on to begin with. They would have been, you know, warming up. So I hope you've got yourself a good pair of gloves because it does help a lot. Okay. I want you to take stock of something. I just spent quite a bit of time just now with your spine in mind, okay? That's how I'm going to post this one. This is the workout with your spine in mind. I'll do that. So I'm going to split stance. See that? I'm going to drop my shoulders. I'm going to pendulum swing this way. Then I'm going to put my feet down. I'm going to go this way, just like that. I'm still in a split stance. See that? Take a big breath. Yeah. Take a breath. And if you turn your head right now, don't be surprised that you get off balance. Okay? So you can move your head, but don't do it very fast. See, I came forward, and then I move it this way, and I say rib cage up. Okay? Now I'm going to bring those hands down. I'm going to step back. Then I'm going to step up with the other leg. Okay? And I'm going to take a big breath. And when I take a big breath, I don't want my shoulders to lift, right? I want to pull my belly button out or my diaphragm out and in when I breathe. So I inhale and the belly blows up. Then I exhale and it contracts and comes in. Okay, I'll say that again. I'm going to inhale. This blows up. See? Now I'm going to exhale. This comes in and pushes the air out. That's diaphragmic breathing. And if you really want to get a handle on this, when you're down in the floor doing the wave and doing some of those moves that we just did, get you one of those big coffee table books, okay? And just put it right over your tummy, your lower abdomen. And when you breathe in, it rises. And then when you blow out, exhale, it lowers, okay? You'll get the hang of it. Okay, now go out this way. Stay on that diving board. See, I'm split stanced. See that? So this is, again, with your spine in mind. okay? Especially if you have some of these disorders that we get. You know, it's not a perfect world. Hello. So even if you do all this stuff and I still have this or I still have that. Yeah. Well, let's see. You're in the same world I'm in. We got problems. Okay, come back. Now, do a little treading. So what's treading? What's the difference in treading and walking? Okay. Walking, you're going to go heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. See that? But when I tread, I bring my knee up and I put my whole foot down. And whenever I want to help my feet out, and I do this barefooted, when I put my foot down, I might make it kind of scrunch in like a dome. So that gets into strength training for the feet. We have our shoes on this morning, so we are just paying attention to what we're doing with our knee and hip. So this is called treading, and or padding. My whole foot is coming up and down, okay? So I'm not getting a trajectory move from pushing off my toe, so to speak, okay? So now I'm gonna just bring in my upper body. I'm gonna, again, just pick my arm up. See, I'm gonna shift. Now I'm on my whole foot. I'm gonna bring this knee up, this arm up. Then I'm gonna put that foot straight down and I'm gonna switch. See that? So this has to do with getting the lift from your knee lift, okay? So you're shifting, tightening your tummy. So all these little moves, and some of you are going, oh, I can't go up that high, or oh man, I can do so much harder. So wherever you're at, great. Do a modification. Put a weight around your ankle and do this. If you need harder, or if you need easier, don't come up so high, okay? Just come up a little. You're still shifting, using the core, keeping in line, breathing, pulling that knee so that it's approaching a 90 degree. Did you know there's whole studies done on people? I'm going to sneeze. Shoo, excuse me. Whoa, that knocked me off my mark. See, I don't have to worry about anybody around here except Matt. I woke him up when I sneeze. So when you're doing this at home and nobody's around, you don't have to worry about saying, I don't have COVID. I just sneezed. I have a lot of dust in my house right now. Anyway, so what I notice when I'm doing this, and that's what I'm trying to get you to do, when I'm doing a move like this, it's a pretty simple move. It can be made harder or it can be made easier. But when you're thinking about the move, as I come up, see, it's super easy for me to do it on this side. But every time I go to this side to maintain, and I want to bring this up, this is much more challenging for me to stay on target as long as I want, because I can quickly put my foot down, see, and then see, nobody will know that I'm really off. No, I'm much weaker over here. And if you're a person with multiple joints replaced, by virtue of that, these moves are going to be much more challenging to you. That's why many times if I need to, and I notice that I'm over leaning and I'm getting off balance really a lot, okay? So now I'm going to be on, this is my challenge side. So whenever I come up here, see, I'll get up there, I'll stay on target, but if I need to, I have my chair right here or my wall or whatever to put my hand on. because I know I need to really work on this side. And don't just give up because you're weaker on that side. And it's so frustrating because you get off balance. You have to put your foot down when you don't want to. No, that's your challenge. That's what you are doing this workout with me for. Okay. So here I am. This is my stronger side, even though this is my knee replaced side. Okay. I'm still much more stable. Hips are a big deal in stability. All right. So when you have a wonky something going on with your hip, okay. Whoa, here. Sorry. Mac just got excited. Oh dear. The workers are coming. So here I am. I'm trying to focus and they're barking. Oh dear. See there, something got in my pathway and I didn't even know it and I could have stepped on it and got off. Okay? So yes, this is a little different strength training, but it's a strength training. And it's this kind of motion that is so important to walking around your day in a smooth trajectory, a smooth pattern. Okay, so just take a moment and walk forward and then walk back. Do it just a couple times. I'll be right back. Okay, did you have a rest? I had to end the alarm system called put my dogs in the cage. Okay, take a big deep breath. I'm going to take this leg and come right back here. Okay? And then I'm going to come back up. And then I'm going to come right back here. Okay? Remember what this workout is going to be called with your spine and mind. Okay? We did a lot of stuff to get your spine opened up. All right? And we're going to stop periodically through the workout today and go back into that very important hyperextension. Okay? Right now, I'm keeping my chin tucked, my shoulders down, my tummy in. I want you to pretend that you're going to be hanging on to a carry. So if you have a heavy bag, I've told you to load, pretend you're going to be hanging on to it as you step back like this and then come up. See that? Tight tummy, drop your shoulders, soften your knees. Shift, put that leg back and you're hanging on to a heavy bag that's hanging right here. And some of you might say, well, what does that have to do with my spine? And I would say pretty much everything, because when you go and hang some weights right here, it's going to go into a demand for stability from your spine. Yeah. All the muscles. And here's the deal. The reason I'm doing this with the spine in mind is you're using your back extensors all the way up and down your spine to handle the load. So are you ready? You ready to pick it up? So before we pick it up, let's put our hands right here. Okay? And the minute that you do this, the tendency is for you to tighten up. Don't do that right now. Okay, don't tighten. Not here. Pull in your belly button a tiny bit. Put your hands right back here. Drop your shoulders. Soften your knees, but don't tighten your butt. and push your hips forward with your knees soft, shoulders down, okay? Big deep breath. And then pull back out of that. Now, if you're like me, you're going to feel a little tightness on one side versus the other side, okay? Maybe you have no problems at all. So I'm going to get my heavy carry, and I've got it with my bag handles. See this? See that? Okay. Take a big deep breath. All right. And I'm going to slip one leg back. See that? And I'm just going to pull this right here. Take a big deep breath. I'm going to hang out right here. I'm going to bring this leg up. I'm going to take a leg back. So when you take that leg back, the toes are forward, okay? Your shoulders are down. All right, so when you go to move, they're hanging right off your shoulders. Bring that leg up. So I'm hanging this weight right here. So this is, for me, this is about 35, 40 pounds, okay? It's pretty heavy. So I'm going to go back. I'm not going to bend my elbows. Keeping my shoulders down. Come back. I'm going to do this one more time now on the other leg. Slip it back. So I'm bending into this front knee. It's kind of a split stance. And then you come back and you come back. So it's this ambulating. It's this moving with a weight. That's the challenge. Okay, and come right here. Now I'm going to hip hinge. Now I'm going to choke down on my bag. Now I'm going to pull, okay? And when I come up to full stance, I'm going to tighten my butt. Then I go back down. Keep my chin tucked. Push into my heels. Pull. Yes. So this is a positive weight load that I'm asking all of my back extensors to come in here and work, okay? Then I come back down, push my butt back, choke down on your bag. It's a double handle, pull, okay? Squeeze. I don't go into a back extension here. You might think you want to, but I'm pulling and I'm coming right up to standing. And I want to feel the full weight on all my foot. But when I start to go down, I go to the heels. Okay? And whenever you see this with the spine in mind, see, there's a ton of things, you know, that we have done, we could do. But I'm stepping back. I put you through a whole physical and fitness therapy movement to open up that whole spine area. Okay, now I'm right here, and now this is going to be shoulders. Now I'm going to go right on up. I'm going to take my shoulders up to my ears and bring it down. Now, you should have a pretty good load here, okay, because I'm doing it with both shoulders. I'm doing it with both sides of my back. It's a straight on, put down, pick up type of a lift. Squeeze your butt, lift, bring those shoulders to your ears, drop them down. Now push your butt back, bend your knees, go way down, grab the bag, heels, come straight up here, tighten your butt, lift your shoulders up to your ears. Now let's do a repeat there. Here we go. Shoulders back down. So see, when you bring those shoulders to your ears, you're using all of your rib cage. You're using what's called the lats to do this move. Okay, you're stabilizing with all the back extensors. You're hanging out here. You're squeezing your gluteals really tight. Okay, two more. Take a breath. Take a breath. Did I say two more? Okay, two more. Here we go. Take a breath. Hold it. and come down and come all the way down. Release the bag and go out and in. Out and in. Out and in. As you do that, keep your chin down, go out, turn with your chin down, then come back in, come straight. Now come out, keep your chin down and turn that head. Come in, keep your head straight, go out, turn your head and neck, and come back in straight. Drop your shoulders, come out, turn your head, come back in. Whew. Take a breath, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders. Ah, okay, shake out, shake out, shake out, shake out. Okay, so with the spine in mind, we just did what they call deadlifting, okay? Like this is dead weight, not you're dead, that's dead. The weight is dead, okay? People shy away from bending, lifting, doing anything, and of course, you always have to dictate with your pain. Don't ever do a move that is painful. But people that have delicate backs, if they went through the first part of this class, oh my goodness, this part should be so much easier for you, okay? Now we went straight on. Now we're going to go one side then the other. That gets more complicated. And if you have a delicate back at this point, you might want to lighten your load just a little bit, okay? Because when you go in asymmetry, opposite symmetry, you tend to want to do this, right? That overworks. So I'm saying when you go to pick this up, do not drop. So when I come here, I'm going to be pushing my butt back, and I want my shoulders to do what? Stay in a line. Drop my chin. When I pull, see, to lift that, well, I am working so hard to stay in symmetry. And this isn't very much because it should have a handle. See, it's not much. This is like a suitcase carry. All right? Yeah, so don't worry about it if you're not lifting. I don't want you to lift much. This is only a few inches. And if you have a bag with weights in it, it's only going to be a few inches. This is exactly what I'm trying to train you into, a suitcase carry. See that? Because I have travelers. They used to be travelers. Some of them are still travelers. Yeah, I know. Kind of everything got turned on its head, right? However, I digress. When I go to pick this up, okay, if I'm being mindful, I do not have to pull my back out, is the point. So I'm on both feet. I'm pushing into the heels. I'm tightening, keeping my shoulders down, and I pull up like that with all of my muscles. That's much differently than what we typically do with our suitcases. We typically try to do it all with just our arms. That doesn't never work, okay? It just doesn't never work. So get into the habit of approaching your suitcase like this. Come down like this. But how do we approach? What do we do? Oh, there's the suitcase. Let me bend over and then let me pull up. Wrong and wrong, okay? So now I'm going to do the other side, okay? So I'm going to put it over here. So if I'm doing a workout with the spine in mind, I'm going to always pull in life, I call them life type movements. If you're going to be going anywhere for anything, doing anything in your yard, shopping, you're going to be picking stuff up that have handles, right? So when I'm in this position, number one, do not stand narrow. No. Get a wider stance. Number two, when you go to pick it up, you don't bend at your waist. You bend at your hip. You do a hip hinge. You grab your handles. Now you get symmetry going from shoulder to shoulder. You don't lean like this and then do a big pull. So I'm in my heels. I'm wide stanced. Take a breath, exhale, and come up, and I'm ready to go. See that? I'm ready to go. And I'm going to come back and come back and come back and come back and come back. So I'm doing a carry. All right? So I'm going to put it down, pick it up a couple times, put it down, pull it up, okay? And now tight tummy, carry forward, carry forward, carry forward, carry forward, and go to the other side. Yeah, mine is about 40 pounds. Yep, it is. Then I just back up, and I just walk, 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 walk. So this, what we're doing right now, which is called a carry, and I did pickups and carries, right? This is one of the things that I see in the literature. I'm talking the research literature, especially for seniors to stay strong. Okay, I'm going to go to the other side. A carry is among one of the 4 big moves that you should pretty much do every day. So I'm doing it, and I worked up to doing it with, and everybody should be yelling, the spine in mind. Okay, drop your shoulders, get symmetry, and do little steps. Yeah, I know you wanna bend, but see, this is too heavy. You don't want to do that. All right, you just let it hang right here. Back up, and hold this hand out here to balance. Okay, and then back up. Yeah, you have to work with the joints that you have. And if they're replaced, it looks differently. I mean, one leg of mine is shorter than the other. That's the way it is. Okay, so to end our little spine and mind moves, I'm going to do this move and then follow it with a tandem walk. So I've got my bag right here. And it should be challenging, yeah? So I'm going to put my hands like this underneath, okay? And this is going to encompass, this is going to make me use my hips because I'm using this like a kettlebell swing. So I'm going to go right here, okay? Get comfortable. So I'm going to pull it up, and I'm going to push my hips forward and back to get a little swing. I don't want a big swing. I want really good weight loading coming right down through my shoulders, coming through my hips, and it utilizes my spine, flexors and extensors, my hips, flexors and extensors, my legs, to do this move. And it's really good weight loading through the shoulders. Keep your shoulders down, keep your chin tucked. Take a big deep breath. You do not bend your elbows. It's a swing, and the swing is happening with what you're doing with your hips. Breath, 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 go. Breath, go. Breath, go. And bring it down. Then you take off of there, and you just put one foot, take breaths, one foot in front of the other. See that? One foot in front of the other, a little tandem walk, okay? Just hang on, hang out there and hang on. Hold, the knees are soft. Now put that leg back, toe to heel. Move over if your bag is in your way, okay? And then one more back, toe to heel. Stay on there, bend knees, bend knees, bend knees. Hang on, you should be shaking a little bit. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's what I'm trying to get you to do, is shake just a little bit. Take a big breath. Then I'm going to watch where my bag is. Get it over here out of the way. Now I'm going to turn my little chair around. And I want you to see something. See, I can do this way, drop my shoulders, Lean back. Don't tighten your butt when you're going to do this. Don't tighten your butt. See, I can do it this way or the other way. I like this way. This is the way I was standing that day. There was a bar that hit me right about here, which was perfect. It was in one of those fancy rooms. And I was just standing there like this with my shoulders down and really stretching my lower back. Oh my goodness, your back will thank you all day if you will just take breaks and do this move, okay? Don't press hard into the chair back. Don't press hard. Just drop your shoulders and push your hips forward. Drop your shoulders, push your hips forward. That's how you do it. Yeah, like that. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. Ooh. Then you pull back away from that. And see, you could do it this way. You could do it this way. Keep your chin tucked. Turn your head. Turn your head. Just rest your hands on that. Soften your knees. Soften your knees. Soften your knees. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Okay, now pull those thumbs out. That's all you got to do. Just put your hands right here and pull the thumbs out. And hang out here for a little bit. Take a breath. Woo. Take a breath. Take a breath. And bring your hands in. And come out of that gently. Big breath. So just by turning your thumbs out like that, when you're in that position, it opens all of you up. Why is this so important? Because I myself and you and lots of people I see, we start getting into this all day long. That's where you're going to function. So I'm saying you can help yourself. This whole program was about that. I didn't want to overload you with a bunch of other stuff that we usually do with our free weights. We can do that. You can pull any of the other ones up if you want more of that. But this one's going to say with your spine in mind, strength training with your spine in mind. How do you like that? I hope you were able to do so, them.